It's Oksan, the designer of OpenPlan. It's already my last session since I started the designer residency with half worried and half expectation. I like to fill this meaningful time with the Studio PMS, who are our first digital fashion designers to collaborate with. I'm so pleased to talk to them today. Hi, hello, Pug and Meryl.
Hi. Hi.
How are
Great.
you?
Oh, good. We're good. Yeah. Normally we're with the three of us. You already know, but Susan, it couldn't be here at this time,
Mm.
so you'll have to do it with us. So hopefully that's.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Susan not here, but anyway, great. Let
Mhm.
me introduce our plan to our audience first. Yeah, today we are going to talk about its experience entering new era, digital era, as a, traditional fashion designer and as a digital fashion designers. We'll share our ideas and thoughts through asking and answering each other. And the entire session will take about 20 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
Studio PMS, what is your first question to start today's session?
Yeah. So we're wondering, since you're based in Korea, we are based in the Netherlands, and this is something
Mm-hmm.
we have been experiencing since our own graduation, is that we truly think that real change in terms of sustainability and innovation could be made already during fashion education, because that's
Mm-hmm.
where get like your base, your core values as a designer. And we see now in the past 2 years that that has been slowly but surely developing in the Dutch fashion education system. So we were curious
Mm-hmm.
how that is from your perspective,
Mm.
the fashion system in Korea dealing with those topics.
Um, yeah, I agree the importance of education about sustainable mindset, not only in fashion, but also in every field, because yeah, education will be the first step to everything. In Korean fashion school system, I can feel there are meaningful changes about sustainability. Many students contacted us and asked interviews,
Mm-hmm.
and Korean fashion schools set up a certain curriculum on sustainability, and students already have a sustainable mindset. And sometimes I have a chance to talk a university professors about sustainable fashion. They
Mm-hmm.
seek advices on sustainability regarding from our experiences in current industries. Yeah, I can see a lot of steps for changes now, and the Korean fashion education are moving toward sustainable fashion. One memorable moment, we were asked to appear at an educational video for elementary schools about explaining what sustainable fashion is and what practices young students can do. And I remember it won a prize from Office of Education. Anyway, it was so fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, there is a big gap between ideals and reality. I feel still we are in the early stage of sustainability. I mean, many times I have to work with whom I should be educating because the existing system outside of the school was built in accordance
Yeah.
with consumerism. I
Yeah.
mean, the yeah, old paradigm of mass production and overconsumption, the very against of sustainability. So I think this is more important or more urgent education in reality.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know also your vision comes from finding solutions to mass production and overconsumption, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
That is true. And
yeah.
I think since you've been working in the industry for 10 years already, and
Mm.
you were part of that maybe more traditional consumerist based system. So how
Right.
things do you see things improving
Mhm.
since you started Open Plan?
Yeah, right. Yeah, we launched OpenPlan 3 years ago, 2017. Yeah, it's 3-year-old brand. So I'm curious, how 3D digital fashion can be solution to these mass production and overconsumption, and what digitization can mean for pursuing sustainable fashion. Can you explain it with your works or your experiences?
Well, I think when we started our graduation project, we
In Pursuit of Tactility.
it was called In Pursuit of Tactility, and me and Merle and Susan, we went to this really great fashion fair in Amsterdam, and we realized that there were so many clothes out there, and we were really doubting, like, do we want to be part of that?
We were like shocked, because even if you're a very good designer and you're also the concept would be very nice, then you will have like a single spot, and then you can put on your 15 or 20 outfits, and then it's just it, and you stand next to all the other people. And it was so, we were a bit overwhelmed, I think, what we saw, how the industry will communicate their concepts to the next season for the stores.
Yeah. So we started to wonder, like, can you actually, as a contemporary designer, can you actually just throw something out in the world simply based on your own fascination or ability to create? Aren't there like any other options that won't harm the environment? And that's actually when we started diving into digitization in 3D. So I think, considering the future, that this is 3D is also a very great sustainable way of showcasing new creative ideas and experiencing.
Yeah, I mean, we also had like a concept that if you only design on a digital way, of course you have to communicate it to your audience, your new collection. So maybe we can start up, I think we already see it a bit with some higher brands, to have like a pop-up store, and then they are using, when you're going into the pop-up store, you have like virtual reality, you can put the glasses on, and then you can show the outfit, and you can try it on a digital way, how to explain it. But I mean, and then of course you have to decide it at that point, and then maybe it's an idea that you want to pay it then in front. I think you have to say it. You have to pay it
in advance.
And then it will be produced, and then a few months later you will get your outfit. So the entire concept of first buying and producing, it should be the other way around, I think. So that could be an option, but of course it's just hard to change the industry like it is now. But that's like a form of how you can do it. And also when you're designing on a digital way, you have to communicate it with the factory. How does the outfit look in the end, and also and you have to, if you're manufacturing the outfits to another country, you have to transfer it the entire time, and it takes a lot of time. But it also takes a lot of fabrics, I think. And with these kinds of technology, we can make a change, or at least we can make a little change.
So, well, we are, of course, very, very much into that whole digital fashion realm. We are a lot in touch with other digital fashion designers. But you're actually a very classic trained fashion designer who just started to dive into sustainability. But we were really curious what your opinion is on digital fashion, digital design houses.
Honestly, before preparing this Helsinki Fashion Year, I had no ideas of digital fashion, but now I can say I know a little bit a part of digital fashion. Anyway, I love your ideas of being bridging the gap between the physical and digital, such as digital photo shoots. It can not only overcome the physical constraints, but also offer new creative approach to traditional fashion industries. And regarding your efforts to redefine tactility, I think it could give further information to people when shopping online. If people try on the item virtually, more as said before, and feel the tactility of the materials, then the digital transformation can help people's conscious purchasing. But as I expect, I'm concerned as well. Comparing the speed of digital development, there is no research we can consider about its impact on our environment. Data centers, power and water usage, which processes more and more information for high resolution, eventually leads to another carbon footprint. Also, natural ecosystem destroyed by mining for high technology devices, and increasing e-waste are already our problem. If we make digital thing truly sustainable, digital contents have to be designed with a sustainable mindset as well, I think. Servers operating on renewable energy rather than relying on dirty energy, and the site or content must be able to respond based on carbon generated by the amount of people. I'm not an expert on digital, but I believe that many people across the fashion and IT industry must have serious concerns about this issue and try to be transparent to people or to the like a person like me. And I hope you, Studio PMS, take the lead of this. Also, and according to this, I have a question. Also, I want to ask you, what do you expect from traditional fashion designer? I mean, you work with traditional fashion designers at the same time as you are creative fashion designers on your own. What do you want?
Well, I think that's also a big part of what Studio PMS does, is that we actually have two parts of our collective. One, we have more artistic, creative projects, where we also try to push the technology, so constantly trying to look for a different medium to expose fashion. We also have our own creative output when it comes to designing the actual clothes that are visible in the project. But we also help small or bigger companies to help them look into digitization. So that is the part where we actually start to digitalize their products. So I think also that balance for us is really interesting, having either the conversation with people who are not familiar with 3D, and then also try to take all that knowledge into our own projects and concepts. I think the balance is really interesting and also really helpful.
But can I ask you something? We have a question from the audience. I think it's a fun question because we have that when we are exhibiting or when we are having a show, a lot of people asking, what does the name, what does Studio PMS stands for? So I think it's fun. So here's the one from the three of us who won the first 2 weeks when we started after working to collaborate. She already found that name. So but can you tell to the audience?
As maybe some of the people from the audience know, is that PMS also means premenstrual syndrome, which are all all the symptoms that a woman can get before she has her period. Of course, it also refers to the first letter of our names. I'm Puck, that's Marilyn, and we have PMS. But then we also thought from a feministic point of view that it could be fun to actually name your collective studio. That's also because it goes, the symptoms of PMS are of course not really recognizable. It goes from this to this to all over the place, and it can create very unexpected results. So we thought that was like a fun reference to that.
Yeah, and even though some people, when we are exhibiting, sometimes they're coming to us and like, They're also always asking, like, do you already know what the name PMS stands for?
Mhm.
Of course we know, because of course we find out. And but it's funny. But I think some people, they get used to us when they're speaking to us, or when they
Right.
so they see us now as fashion designers, Studio PMS, instead of just haha, it's PMS. So I think that's fun. Some people in the beginning told us, like, no, you shouldn't
Unprofessional.
professional. We're like, yeah, I mean, why not? It's funny. People can remember us sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you came up with the name OpenPlan?
I found this words at Whitney Museum in New York. At the first time, I didn't know the meaning of these words. This meaning is for kind of the words for interior, the sculpture, architecture. And I think I love this name because of it is combination of a very simple words, and it has a meaning for, how can I say, very not stereotype about thinking open plan is about space, how space shaping. And I like the kind of freedom or not conservative approach. So we use this name for our brands, like we act like open plans. So we design without conservative or passive approach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So when I heard your name at the first time, I thought they are so brave to have this name. I love your names.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's good. It's good to hear. Let me see. What other questions did we have?
So what is we also had, well, of course, we prepared a little bit, but what is your future direction? Wait, that was, wait. Well, it was also a question for us, I think, but for we also, how do you see the fashion will go in the future in 5 years, or do you know where you will stand up in the future?
Very big question. And well, about fashion industries or about our future direction. Well, about this, I'm thinking I've never thought about being called a traditional fashion designer before, but times are changing, and I feel the definition of fashion is changing as well. It makes me think this a lot. What is fashion? What is fashionable? It is a very important question to me as a designer. I'm seeing fashion as ways of expressing oneself is changing in the conditions of video calls and webinars. And the survey is interesting that the demand of fashion as contents, not as real clothes, is increasing. Also, clothes only for online have been appeared a few years ago. I think fashion's role is to suggest and show being beautiful in accordance with its time, and there is no change of what fashion exists for. And then here are my questions. What is being beautiful in times of a climate crisis? How can I show being beautiful in times of ecocide? So my dream as a fashion designer is to answer to these questions with the open plan. So for that we try to design open plan, not just a pile of clothes with a certain price, but something meaningful with the ideas of a designer and the sincerity of the makers. Also try to focus on more values and messages rather than talking in tempting languages or promoting purchases. And we work with skilled local manufacturers and believe this could help local economy and the healthy society. Thanks to nature always, we try to find something to do with our works for nature as well. So we planted 1,500 trees last year, and this year we thankfully worked with the Seoul Eco Film Festival to spread the positive message to many people, and supporting environmental organization and donate to charity. Why I say these things whole, because we believe being beauty in this era can talk about value, humanity, and solidarity, not just about stylishness. Yeah. Yeah, I think we have a very long way to go, but yeah, I'm trying to enjoy our journey and hope many people join us. Yeah, this is my direction and plan.
I think it's a really good mindset, and you also always see it in times of crisis, as the people start to question the importance and the relevance of just beauty for the moment. I think people start to go back more to authenticity, to more original ideas as well, rather than just being pretty or hip for a specific moment in time. And let's be honest, we've had enough of those moments for the past years.
Yeah, it's same as well. Yeah, just a step by step. We are trying. We are on the journey. Yeah, yeah. What about you? What is your future direction and your future plan?
Well, I think what we now experience is that we've been working with a couple of brands for the past 2 years, collaborating with Burberry, Adidas, Nike, Flisco, and such. And we were really trying, especially during the Corona crisis, we were thinking that we should do something new and meaningful. So I think from September on, we have a really new, exciting project coming up. We can't say about that, but it will more go into a cultural institution direction, with art and such. So
collaboration with
But we cannot really say that. You cannot say that. Don't spoil it.
Wow, exciting.
So that's really something we are looking forward to. And I think our two main things will always be innovation and sustainability from a fashion point of view. So we are constantly trying to see how our fluidity as a collective also goes.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that, and so exciting to your future.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's almost time. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Time flew so fast. Yeah. And yeah, it was so meaningful time for me with you, and I hope it was good time for you as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and we'll keep in touch.
Yes, please.
And people will see our collaboration soon on Helsinki Fashion Week.
Right, on the coming Monday.
Yeah, Monday. Yeah. The other one is next week, I think 2 of August.
Yeah,
it's also one. So yeah, excited.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, Oksana, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much as well.
Yeah, and thank you, Helsinki Fashion Week. Have a good day, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.